So, a very long time ago, 3 months into my YouTube career, I made a video ranking every single focus tree in Hearts of Iron 4. That was cool and all, but nobody watched it. I had a very bad mic, very bad opinions, and I was just a little baby man, a baby YouTube man. So I decided to remake it, because quite some focus trees came out since I made that video, and I wanted to give it another shot. And this is definitely not because I wasn't able to finish a video for today, because maybe let's say hypothetically that Gabe gave me a world conquest so hard that it's taking me a couple weeks to finish.
Oh my god, bro.
Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man? Get your ass on.
It has nothing to do with that, so let's begin. Why the fuck are there two Soviet Unions? It's too late to fix it. One more thing though, this week I will do a live Q&A. This Friday I think. Haven't yet decided on a specific hour, but I will announce this one day in advance. One more thing, I will rank all those nations based on my personal taste. So if your country gets a lower grading, don't get it too personal. And if you do, I invite you to tell me in 25 separate comments how wrong I am. I will also rank all the majors first, and then I will rank all the focus trees in the order they came out in. So without further ado, let's begin with Japan D tier. This focus tree is literally a relic for a bygone era. This focus tree is like this since the game came out in 2016. The only addition to it is one more path, I don't remember which, either the monarchist or the communist one, which came out in the Waking the Tiger DLC, which was the second or the third. I never enjoyed playing Japan because of this, and for me it just feels so fucking lame. Next up, the two Soviet Unions. I only played the Soviets once or twice, and everybody knows how I feel about majors, but I think the Soviet focus tree is alright, so I'm gonna place it in B tier. It's not that interesting to me, but it does its job pretty well. The United States of America. Oh boy, got a lot of opinions on this one as well. Again, this one is a very old focus tree. It only has 3 entire paths, and it just lacks a lot of flavor. I can't even remember the last time I played the USA. I think it was in 2018 or 19 when I was getting achievements with it. And the reasons I don't like it is, it's too fucking OP. If you play historical, you just stomp everybody without any difficulty. And if you want to go another path, the focus tree just makes you to jump through so many hoops. Why the fuck would you even need to wait 6 or 7 months, I don't remember how many, to re-establish the gold standard? Oh, and the Senate mechanics are so lame. I just hate it. D tier. Under Japan. The United Kingdom. Another very old focus tree.
Why are you disrespecting me, bro? No, this cannot be forgiven.
But unlike the other two, it actually gives you things to do. You got a decent number of paths, and you also have unique things to do, like re-establishing the colony of North America or giving Canada cores on America or shit like that. It's interesting, the communist path is lacking a lot though. Again, I said this a couple of times, but I would like for the UK to be able to establish some sort of bigger puppets. Like, I would love for the King path to have some sort of world conquest path. You know, they already have the fucking achievement to conquer the world. Might as well just make a path for it, where you could form like incredibly big puppets, like getting the dominion of South America, or making South Africa core all the south of Africa, like everything under Sudan, or unifying Arabia under a puppet regime. The Chinese protectorate that cores all of China, and so on and so on. That would be so fucking cool, but unfortunately it doesn't exist. Although the current focus tree for the UK is serving its purpose very good, and that is to being annoying, so the UK is gonna get the A tier. Next up, Germany. Outdated. It lacks flavor. Only has 2 fucking paths. I'm not counting democracy because I'm never playing that shit. The historical path serves its purpose very good, but other than that, after so many years, it's just lame. C tier. Next up, France. We need a new bracket for this. There we go. Memes aside, although the French focus tree is pretty old, and it offers quite some number of paths with different degrees of doing absolutely nothing. It doesn't really give you much of anything, and it might be the nation with the most annoying system of getting cores. You can core Algeria pretty consistently, but the French Union is the worst RNG that ever came out of this game. And I'm not even gonna talk about the French-Spanish Union, which is a whole nother level of shit show. Other than that, you can have 1 or 2 good games with France, but that's pretty much it. So the real rating would be an upper C or lower B. I'm also gonna rank the other French focus trees, the Free France and the Vichy France. I never played the Free France focus tree, but I had the unpleasure to play the Vichy one, and it was fucking terrible. So they are probably both bottom of D tier. And our last major power is gonna be Italy, which got dirty work in By Blood Alone. Pretty big focus tree, a lot of paths, but I don't know, it never clicked for me. I only played the Il Duce path once, I think, for an achievement, and that was pretty much it. I never was very interested in this. I find it to be a little bit confusing. The path selection is a little bit complicated for me. And I am never gonna forget Italy for being the DLC that brought us undeletable divisions. And a fucking annoying mechanic with Regno del Sud. So Italy is gonna get a spiteful bottom of B tier. Alright, now let's get over to the Together for Victory DLC with the Dominion of Canada. Now here we're getting in very old focus trees territory, which I think they're all pretty bad. I'm glad to see that Canada got some updates in the recent free updates for Hearts of Iron 4, but this is just pathetic. The focus tree is very fucking short. When your industry and army trees combine are bigger than all your political paths, there is a problem there, buddy. Also adding the fact that you cannot core anything as Canada, you only get more cores on the British territories. You cannot even core Alaska. So I don't know, for me it's just lame. Upper D tier, above Japan. Next up, Australia. I have no fucking idea which one of those two it is. So let me check. It's the one with the white stars, okay, noted. There is nothing here that I like. The first DLC is the one that cock-blocks a lot of focus trees behind world tension, and it's a little bit cringe to play this in non-historical, which I do almost every game, because world tension can vary a lot. Also, there are no fucking paths, and Australia is one of the very few countries that cannot core anything. Not even Papua or the islands. I mean, you have a path that allows you to take the Dutch East Indies, so you don't really have manpower problems that way. But that path is so fucking broken that it makes me angry just thinking about it. So D tier, under Canada. New Zealand, may I say more? You can at least get some cores. I think you can have more population than Australia, so D tier above Australia. Wait, those two got mixed up. Anyway, the British Raj. I haven't played this country in maybe 6 years, so bottom of D tier, above Japan, just because. South Africa now. South Africa is an interesting country, being isolated at the bottom of the world with a very old and small focus tree, and only 3 paths to choose from. It has the same issues as all the other countries from this DLC, but I don't know, it's just something that South Africa clicks for me, you know? It has personality, and I kind of like the achievements, kind of not. They are pretty hard, but I kinda had fun doing them. I'm still mad that you cannot core the entirety of Africa, or at least get any cores through the focus tree, but for me, South Africa is gonna get a middle of the C tier. Next up, Death or Dishonor. This one is a pretty interesting DLC, because it's the second oldest, but it's one that held up to time pretty well compared to the others. I always thought that this DLC came out after Waking the Tiger, but apparently not. So let's see. Czechoslovakia. Glorified basic focus tree, you know the drill. There is nothing here. In my opinion, this is the only country that doesn't have a political tree, because this is nothing. And you can fucking cock yourself. Why in the hell would you do that? It's a very OP focus tree, don't get me wrong, but making a focus tree OP doesn't make it good. So for me, Czechoslovakia is gonna get bottom of D tier. Above the United States though, because I played it a lot more than the USA focus tree. Next up, Hungary, the country that my comment section never stops talking about. The focus tree with the second worst RNG in the game with the Austria-Hungary path, the elect a democratic king path, it's only played by the AI, and the fascist king is just basic. Communism is not existing, which is a shame judging by the fact that Hungary was actually communist for 100 days or something like that, and you could build a lot on that, but the Paradox team did not have the inspiration in the year 2017, so we are left with this thing. I never stared at the Hearts of Iron 4 map and thought, I would really play some Hungary right now. So Hungary will get top of D tier. Yugoslavia, in my opinion, is the best focus tree out of Death or Dishonor. In particular, I really like the monarchy tree. It's a shame that Paradox nerfed it that one time, some years ago. In the past, you were able to balkanize the entire country, having like 9 entire puppets, I think, and they would all do industry. And you can also, of course, puppet the Balkans and get them as cores as well. But nowadays, Paradox made it that having a country with only one state run by AI, it's not gonna touch industry until 1939, which is a little late. The communist path is the most in-depth in the DLC, although again, judging by the future of Yugoslavia, this is nothing, and the fascist path is just boring. And you can only get one more core on Macedonia, which looks horrible. You cannot even core Bulgaria, which... come on, it's lame as fuck. So Yugoslavia will go in the top of C tier, above Germany. Romania, country of my origin and the pain of my existence. I usually call this focus tree the second glorified basic focus tree, because I don't know if you guys noticed this, but Romania is pretty much the only focus tree other than Czechoslovakia that has no political path. You don't get anything here other than some war goals and doing nothing, and this is just no. I get what the Paradox team tried to do here, but it just doesn't work. It's lame as fuck. You also cannot core or form any nation, which makes your manpower in the late game really limited, as you only have 20 million core population and you will usually lose at least Bessarabia at some point. And yeah, I'm still crying after Romania, Bulgaria. Just let me core Bulgaria, please. It's not that much anyway. Also, I want Roman Empire as Romania. It's in the fucking name. Bottom of D tier, above Czechoslovakia. Next up, Waking the Tiger. We have China, the other China, one more China, the actual interesting China, the blue China, the one that's not China, and 2 more Chinas. All the warlords that have the same focus tree will go in bottom of D tier, because there is just nothing there other than pain and suffering. The Republic of China has probably the most broken focus tree in the entire game, in the mechanical sense, not in the power sense. Actually, the entire region it's full of bugs and shit like that. And this entire economy tree just doesn't work if you go on historical. If you do anything, you're not gonna have the relations necessary to do this tree, so you have to rush it early. But you are losing a bunch of time because Japan is attacking you every time, so you're wasting your precious time doing this shit that gives you infantry weapons research bonus for 70 days. I don't understand why they chose to cuck you behind having 75 relations with the nation in every single focus. This is easily fixable if you just leave that mark on the first focus, and then you are free to do those ones without keeping high relations. Oh, and I said about Romania that it doesn't have political paths. China doesn't have also. And the most annoying thing is that if you want to get rid of the recruitable population factor debuff, you have to go democratic. I mean, you don't have to, but you will eventually do because you get infinite democracy support and unalign unsupport. So yeah, this is just horrible. Middle of D tier, above Romania. Communist China is pretty much the same thing, but at least you can have a game there with a little bit more fun, so bottom of C tier. Now, Manchukuo is my favorite out of all of them. They also suffer from the same problem with this tree, and they also only have one single playable path, because this is just nothing. This is just for the AI to do. You cannot play with this and have fun. But I think the reforming the Qing China path is pretty good. I had a lot of fun the 3 or 4 times I played this. So for Manchukuo, we will go top of C tier between Yugoslavia and Germany. Man the guns. The DLC that gave us only 2 focus trees. I think it's the one with the fewest. La Resistance also only have 2, but they reworked France. And basically Spain is 2 focus trees combined. So the Netherlands. All I feel about the Netherlands is that it has very annoying achievements. They have quite some pets and quite a big industrial tree. They also have the longest focus tree in the game, continued the Ziderzy works for 210 days. That's a fun fact. The fascist and the monarchist paths are pretty cool to play, but other than that, there isn't much here. I love the fact that you can develop the Dutch East Indies and Suriname, I think. But I don't know, I just wish to see more from Netherlands, like reclaiming the empire or something like that. At least get to core the border states. That would be cool. That doesn't happen though, so I guess top of C tier between Germany and Manchukuo. Next up we have Mexico. It's very weird for me because a lot of people really like the Mexican focus tree, but what the fuck are you on, people? I hate this focus tree so much. You again basically have no political paths because everything just comes down to this, and I really don't like this design choice. It seems pretty lazy, to me at least. You also have the fucking civil war mechanics, which you just cannot get rid of. You need to watch your... I don't even remember what it was for the entire game. It's cool to play once, I guess, coring the United States and Central America, but every time I wanted to play Mexico, it just felt like a chore to me, and I don't like that. Top of D tier, above Hungary, I guess. Next up, La Resistance, which brought us the 2 Spains and Portugal. Now, the Spanish focus tree seems pretty big at the first glance, but every time you make a choice, it just halves itself. You got a couple interesting paths, but the problem that I have with it is that it's very small in scope. You pretty much just fight the Spanish Civil War for 2 years, then you repair your country for another 3 because of the very harsh recoring your country mechanics, and you just are a minor power in 1942 when the world is at war already. So you can't really conquer much because you just became able to play so late. Also, the fact that you cannot core Portugal with every path is just a crime. You can only core it with 1 or 2, I guess. I don't remember which were those. The anarchist one and the Carlist? I don't remember. Anyway, you cannot reclaim the Spanish Empire. You can pretty much do nothing. So, bottom of C tier. No, actually middle of C tier, between the Netherlands and Germany. Next up, Portugal. Portugal kind of has the most unoffensive focus tree in the entire game. The Kingdom Reunited path is pretty nice. And again, the Communist path is the only one that allows you to core Spain and form Iberia, which again I think it's a crime. I think you should be able to form Iberia at all times. You also have a couple paths in the Portuguese focus tree that lead nowhere. Like, why the fuck would you ever do the visit the front path and not doing Workers of Iberia Unite? You miss on so much. Also, the National Syndicalism path again does nothing. The Fifth Empire path gives you some nice buffs, and you would say that you will actually be able to reclaim the empire, but apparently no. You get a shitload of claims and that's it. And you get to core nothing. So what's even the point? Middle of C tier, above Spain. Because I don't know, I just feel like it. Next up, the battle for the Bosphorus. Oh, what a shit show of a DLC. That gave us Bulgaria, Turkey and Greece. The Greek focus tree is bad. The Byzantium path is pretty fun to do once. Communism is boring, and the fascist paths are just not interesting at all as well. And you also have the Macedonian Empire, which is the hardest formable nation in the game. Cause you get absolutely no help and you need to conquer all the world basically. And the funniest path is that you require to control a lot of territory everywhere, some of which is in the USSR, and you don't even get to core it. You need to control it to form the nation, but you don't core it. And I think that's just a kick in the balls from the developers. It has a quite interesting industrial tree, so it gets some points for that. But for me, the Kingdom of Greece is gonna get in top of C tier, under Yugoslavia. Controversial, I know. Next up, Bulgaria. In my opinion, the best focus tree that came out of the battle for the Bosphorus. It's quite confusing at first. The layout is very weird for me. I don't know why. But you actually have something to do in each path. You can create the Balkan Confederation. You can create a faction in the Balkans. and give all the countries that are a lot of buffs with this focus, or you can also reform the Third Empire and core all the Balkans. It makes absolutely no sense historically, but it's very cool that you can do it, and I don't understand why that isn't allowed in more focus trees like Greece, for example. Why cannot they form the Balkan Confederacy or something like that? Overall, I always had a good time with Bulgaria. Those two focuses are very OP as well, so you can really punch about your weight. The only problem with Bulgaria is that it was very buggy at the start. You could get attrition to your divisions in your own country, and this national spirit is very brutal to begin with. Also, you need to collaborate a lot with Britain, and they tend to refuse you every single time, so that's a bit sucky. But overall, I really like the Bulgarian focus tree. So this will be the second A of our video. Holy shit, now that I take a look at this, Hearts of Iron 4 is a pretty bad game. Speaking of bad, next up Turkey. And where the fuck should I even begin? Well, same problem that I have with the Turkish focus trees, the one that I have with Mexico. Those three entire paths end up in the same thing. The focus tree is way too long. I don't understand the scope of this initial path. It's just there to slow you down to a crawl. By the time you finish this, it's already 1939, I think. And by the time you get to the juicy path of the focus tree, it's 41 or 42, so you cannot really expand that much. Forming Turan is cool, I guess, and the Ottoman Empire is mediocre at best. Oh yeah, and everything that has to do with Turkey is broken. All the map decisions that you have to click, they have been broken since the release of the focus tree, and nobody's fixing them. I also don't fucking understand what they do most of the time. So if you play Turkey, just don't press those 4 decisions ever. They don't work as intended. So Turkey is gonna get a bottom of C tier. Then we have No Step Back. In my opinion, the best DLC this game has ever produced, which gave us focus trees for the best countries in the world: Estonia, Lithuania, Latvia, a rework of Poland, and the Soviet Union, which we already ranked. So, Estonia, the second best Baltic country. The Baltics have the shared communist path, which I think is pretty nice. It could be better, but it works just as fine the way it is right now. The problem with Estonia is that, other than the communist path, you have the Finno-Ugric path, which is pretty hard, and I had a mental breakdown when doing it a couple months ago. And it's also cool that you can form Scandinavia, which I think is the best part of Estonia. I don't know how it works nowadays with the Nordics all having focus trees, but it might be quite hard. I like the Estonian focus tree. Top of B tier, above the Soviets. Next we're gonna rank Latvia, which in my opinion, guys, it's the worst nation in the Baltics. Please don't get offended, it's nothing personal. It's just that there isn't much here. The path that gives you the most cores is the one that makes you a puppet of Germany, and you also have to jump through some hoops to get it. And the other one is just not that good. You get to core the Baltics, which every nation in the Baltics do, and you also get some weird fucking cores. From this focus you get 4 more states as cores: Vilno and those 3. And your cores just look very fucking weird, man, why the fuck? Anyway, middle of C tier. Above Netherlands but under Manchukuo. And now my beloved Lithuania. I might be a little bit biased here, but I think Lithuania has the best or the second best focus tree in the entire game, because you actually have some choices to do. You can form the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth, which is a pretty straightforward path that makes you pretty powerful, and it's kind of fun, slapping both the Germans and the Soviets around. Or you can also go your own way and create Greater Lithuania. The thing I don't like about this path is that you need 80% compliance in order to get your course on the Soviets. And that's just way too much. In my Greater Lithuania run, I think I waited 2 hours to get this much compliance. I think the compliance thing should be removed entirely or be capped at 30% or 40% at max. I don't know, I just have a really good time every time I play Lithuania. So this will be our first S tier, guys. And speaking of S tiers, next up Poland. Poland is also very good, man. I kind of like everything about it. The historical path is okay, the communist and democratic paths give you something to do, but the monarchy path is the best, with the 4 choices and the secret path. I particularly like the Poland-Romania path because of obvious reasons, and because it's very OP. And the fascist path is also not too shabby. You get a decent amount, of course, almost in every path. I like the uprising mechanics, I like the Danzig mechanics. The only thing I don't like about Poland is Green Poland. So yeah, I can assure you that you will have fun playing Poland in this game. So S tier, a little bit above Lithuania, but they are pretty tied. Poland gets the advantage just because it has more pets. Next up, By Blood Alone. What a shit show of a DLC as well. You guys already heard my thoughts on Italy, so let me rant about Switzerland now. I tried to play Switzerland, but I just cannot fucking understand. Every time I want to choose a path, I just get cucked out of the path myself. I wanted to play Switzerland for the achievements, and I think I did 5 or 6 runs and I couldn't get any. Because it's just so confusing for me. The advisor thing kills me. And that's a shame because you can really punch above your weight with this country. But oh my fucking god, it's so annoying to kill it when it's run by AI, because you need to control every single tile. So I am sorry, Switzerlandish people, your country will get a top of D tier, above Mexico. And now, oh yes, Ethiopia, my beloved. I have a lot of thoughts on Ethiopia. I can yap all day about it, but I'm not gonna. The focus tree is overall good. The problem with it is that, again, it takes a lot of time to do industry and army. The focuses need to be shortened, but Paradox won't do that. I pretty much like all the paths except the Italian one, which is pretty lame. It's pretty challenging to play Ethiopia, but it's also pretty rewarding. You are not as powerful as you should be as Ethiopia because Africa is fucking barren, but when they will eventually add resources to Africa, Ethiopia will be a much more playable nation. And now my biggest issue with Ethiopia is that you can in theory core all of Africa with the African Union, but in order to do that you need to play until the 2000s, and nobody has time for that shit. Also, all the Ethiopian mechanics with influencing other African states just miss the fucking mark so much. They are annoying and they don't work properly, and they are so fucking expensive. You need 50k PP to do all the things you can do, and that's just not fun. Ethiopia could have been an S tier, but for now they are either upper B or lower A. I think I'm gonna put them in lower A, just because our list is a little bottom heavy. Next up we have Arms Against Tyranny, the Nordic countries, the Swedens, the Finlands, the Danes, and the Islandings, Denmark. I played it a couple of times. The king path is okay, I guess. I am mad that you cannot stack the nations, like coring both England and the rest of Scandinavia. I did play the fascist path once, but it's nothing too special. I don't really understand this tree, and the other paths just look boring. It gets more points because it's new though, so bottom of B tier, above Italy. Finland. I never played Finland. I don't even know what's here, but you can form Greater Finland, and I like that idea. So I guess it has to be somewhere around Denmark, above Italy. Iceland. Oh man, Iceland missed the mark so much. I know it's a mini focus tree, but look what they did to my son. Paradox gives you a fucking Viking path and the ability to proclaim Nordic unity, but it doesn't give you any of the tools necessary to do it, cause it's pretty goddamn hard, and the focus tree doesn't really help you at all. This path could have been so fucking good if they did it properly, but no. The communist path is just lame, and the British uprising are just a joke, spawning countries with one single division, and without you being able to help them. So yeah, unfortunately I will have to place Iceland in top of D tier, under Hungary. Norway. Fun fact, I did film an entire video with Norway when the DLC came out. I played the King path, which is very fucking annoying, because in order to do the Shield of the North focus you need 55% war support. And as Norway, you start with 2% or something like that, and you need to do some decisions to get 1% and 2% war support. And I remember just waiting until 1940 something to get the war support needed. And that video never came out because my dumb ass filmed it with the mic turned off. I also know nothing about the other paths, which there are quite some of them there, but I think the king one is the most juicy, and it's not that good. Middle of C tier, above the Netherlands. And the last Nordic country, Sweden. I also never played it, but I know it's the most powerful one, because it kind of kicks my ass every single campaign. when I play in Europe. So yeah, I don't really know much about it, but I will assume it's somewhere around the other Nordics, so I'm gonna place it bottom of B tier above Italy. Those three might be interchangeable, I don't know. Oh wait, I forgot something very important, the Sultanate of Ausa, which also came out in the By Blood Alone DLC, but it's not recognized as such. It's a very small country with only one single path. It's quite challenging, but also quite rewarding. You can have a lot of courses outside, you can core the entire Horn of Africa, plus a couple more surrounding states, I don't know exactly which ones right now. I played it 3 or 4 times and I have fun every single time. If you haven't played Ausa so far, give it a try. Top of B tier, under Estonia. And now we got to the last DLC, the Trial of Allegiances. A quite controversial DLC because it went a little bit insane with what you can do, but I'm gonna be honest guys, I fucking love it. I haven't played the countries that much, but what I've played was amazing. So let's get it going with Uruguay. Right off the bat, I haven't played it, but I know that you can core the entirety of South America. And if I was Uruguayan, I would think that is pretty cool. So Uruguay focus tree top of B tier, together with the monster that is Paraguay, because the focus trees are pretty similar. And this country is sometimes very fucking hard to defeat. It took me literally years the first time I defeated them, so they get extra points for that. Next up, Brazil. Also haven't played Brazil. Damn man, I really didn't play this DLC that much. Oh no, wait, I forgot. I did a fucking world conquest with Brazil. Oh yeah, oh my fucking god, how could I forget that? I did the monarchist empire path, and I thought this path was pretty cool. Also heard the communist path is also pretty good, so I don't have much to complain about this. A tier, under Bulgaria. Our next country is Chile. Also did a world conquest with Chile. More specifically, the Mapuche path. This one right here. Also didn't play any other path, but I have knowledge of the Chilean French path, which sparked a lot of uproar in the community. But again, I think this is pretty cool. I would like to see more of those things in Hearts of Iron 4. I am a fan of balls to the walls insane paths, and I kind of hate the people that are, oh, this is a World War II historical game. Everything should be historical. We don't need alternate historical paths. They are shit because they did not happen. And to those people I say, just play fucking historical. Get a historical immersion mod or something. Let me have my fucking Roman Empire, okay? And if you don't like those paths, just don't fucking play it. It's your choice. So yeah, I really like the Chilean focus tree too. A little bit more than Brazil's one, so A tier above Brazil. And our last country is gonna be Argentina. Also played it one single time, more exactly the secret Hitler path, which was pretty goddamn shallow. And again, I don't know anything about all the other paths, but you can core a lot of shit. So let's say A tier, under Brazil. So this is it guys. Again, this list is made based on my personal taste. If you have other opinions, you are welcome to say them out loud in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe, to check the Patreon in the description. Don't forget about the Q&A and the Discord server. And as always, I would like to thank my Patreons for supporting me every single time. Flossie, Tomelea1, Arctic, CJ Devante Thunder, Grongwegs, Windows Mistake Edition, Gates Liquor, Jack M, Erika Menerheim, Nilklas, K64, Dante Mantis, Yuki, I'm a Disappointment, Ishgo, Mr. Reader Reads, Purinam Subo, and Griffin Dane. Thank you guys again, and until next time, don't forget, man, France fucking sucks.